Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to this latest episode. So sit back, relax, grab your cigar, maybe a drink, and enjoy.
Camera's thing, we're supposed to, yes, okay, we're good. Good. Don't run out of butane. Don't run out of butane. Do not run out of butane. Motherfucker ran out of butane. Thankfully it lit. And apparently I've never smoked cigars before. Woo! Honestly, all that stuff couldn't have gone more perfectly. I just had the camera rolling and a bunch of amateur stuff just happened. And that segues perfectly in what I want to talk about in this video, which is getting started in cigar smoking. I don't know if all of you are full-fledged cigar smokers. Maybe you smoke occasionally, maybe you smoke all the time. Then again, maybe you're kind of over this direction, far over here, where you are just getting interested and learning more about cigars and smoking cigars. So I'm glad you're here. So we're going to talk about that in this video, about how to get started in cigar smoking, and I'm going to try and keep it as simple as possible. Might be a bit of a challenge, but I'm up for it. So let's cue that music and get started. What's up, guys? You are watching Dad Smoking Cigars, sponsored by StogieLives.com and Casa Cuevas Cigars. From our Casa to yours, thank you for joining me. Tonight I am smoking the La Aurora Preferida Cameroon number 2. This is kind of like the Perfecto design. It comes in a tube. Mine came in just a little bit of cellophane, but it's delicious either way. I've had it before and it's quite good. And yeah, it comes with a Cameroon wrapper. Obviously, Cameroon wrapper and some Brazilian and Colombian long fillers. Not quite sure what the binder is. That wasn't disclosed when I was reading about it. But if I had to say what profile this cigar was, I would say probably a medium. But then again, that might not mean much to you at this current moment, because maybe you have absolutely zero idea about anything regarding cigars. But you're interested and you want to get started in smoking cigars. Well, I'm going to give you the most informative crash course that I can in this video, because if you know anything about me, or if you've watched any of my videos prior to now, you'll know that I have a tendency to be long-winded, but I'm definitely going to try and cut the fat where it needs to be cut, because you want simple, straightforward information when it comes to getting started with smoking cigars. So we're going to go ahead and get started right now with just some simple information on what you can do to begin your cigar journey, and it's going to be a fun one, I guarantee it. If the enjoyment sticks, if you end up enjoying cigars, you're going to be in for a lot of fun, some really great treats, and some great experiences. Not just smoking cigars, but getting to know people who do smoke cigars. But that's wandering off topic just a little bit. Just to give you a little bit of background on myself, this is a story I've told many times, but my journey in cigar smoking started when I was 19. To give you some perspective on how long ago that was, I am now 37 years old, so it was quite a while ago. But I started smoking cigars at the age of 19. My dad bought me my first one, which should give you an idea of what the inspiration behind dad smoking cigars was. My dad got me into cigars. I'm a dad. There you go. But he took me to this little cigar shop in my hometown, and he bought me my first cigar. The first cigar I ever tried, I actually remember what it was, or at least I remember the brand, and that was Kojimar. Kojimar specializes in flavored and infused cigars. So if you've ever been wondering whether or not it's a good idea to start with a flavored cigar, this kind of, at least in part, answers your question, because that was what I started with, was a flavored cigar. And it was a vanilla flavored, sugar tipped cigar, so it was delicious. And I do remember it going quite well with a cup of coffee. A coffee shake, actually, at one of my local coffee joints in my hometown. So yeah, that was my first cigar experience, and it was a good experience. I kind of took to it like a fish to water, if I remember correctly. Now, I wasn't like super cool blowing smoke rings, retrohaling. In fact, the first time I retrohaled, it was a disaster. I didn't start doing that until about 3 years ago, and now I do it all the time. But again, getting ahead of myself. But suffice to say, I found something that I really enjoyed and have enjoyed ever since. I've been smoking with more frequency as the years have gone on, and that has resulted in this YouTube channel and this wonderful community that I am now a part of, just enjoying something that is a wonderful little luxury. So just for a jumping off point, I told you my first cigar experience was with a flavored cigar, and that is a perfectly legitimate starting point when it comes to smoking cigars. In fact, most people start smoking cigars by smoking a flavored or infused cigar. What's the difference between a flavored or infused cigar? Well, an infused cigar, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but an infused cigar is a cigar that has been allowed to kind of rest in an environment where the flavors slowly infuse. Because like I've heard of people taking cigars and putting them in a jar next to some vanilla extract, not dipping it into the extract itself, but putting in like a jar, a very tightly sealed jar, where all of that aroma starts to slowly absorb into the cigar itself. Infused is a whole different process, whereas flavored, it's kind of just outright they're dipping the cigar in some flavor solution that gives the cigar a particular flavor, whether it's vanilla or chocolate or cherry. There's a lot of really weird flavors I've heard of cigars having, but they overall have a sometimes overwhelming sweetness, sometimes the sweetness is just enough, and it is all kind of meant to start as a stepping off point if you want to try cigars. Now, I know some people who only really like flavored cigars, and there's personally for me, I only enjoy a flavored cigar every now and then. It's very rare for me to enjoy a flavored cigar, but again, those are my roots. That's where I started off. So if you want to try a flavored cigar, I highly recommend it. The brand I just mentioned, Kojamar, is a very good brand. They are still in operation, and they are an excellent cigar company, and they make premium handmade cigars. They just are infused or flavored, and they're delicious. I had one not that long ago, well, about a year ago, but seems like it wasn't that long ago. And as I recall, it was very, very good. And it took me back to when I first started smoking cigars. So there you go. Then there's cigars produced by Drew Estate, one of the biggest names in cigars in the last, I would say, 10 or so years. And they produce cigars like the Acid. Don't let the name fool you. Not acidic in the slightest. Very, very sweet. Might be overly sweet depending on who you ask. I personally don't care for them. But honestly, if you want to start with something that has a bit of sweetness, a bit more flavor, Acids might be the right choice for you. Then there's the Tabac, and then there's the Java. Both have kind of like a coffee flavor, a little bit of sweetness to it. And yeah, those are good jumping off cigars. If you really want to start small, literally, there's some, okay gas station smokes you could pick up. Personally, the only gas station smokes I've ever enjoyed in recent history are Optimo, and that's because they produce like actual quality handmade cigarillos with premium tobacco that just happen to be flavored or infused. So those are a few suggestions of flavored cigars. There's plenty more. I know there's so many others, but Kojamar, some of the things, cigars produced by Drew Estate are good, and then, there's a couple, but please, try not to go for the overly sweet, like candy-like cigars. They have a little bit of an unpleasant sweetness to them. That's my personal opinion. But then again, if you dig super sweet, then that would be perfect for you. So it's all about what you like, and you haven't figured out what you like yet until you try it. So give it a shot. But then again, maybe you want to take a step into, I wouldn't call it the deep end, but in between the shallow and the deep end, and you want to try something that's not flavored, something that is maybe a little on the milder side, but is definitely not super sweet or flavored or anything like that. Well, then I would highly recommend you start with something along the lines of a Connecticut. What is a Connecticut? Well, it's a cigar that is wrapped in a Connecticut shade wrapper. It's lighter in color because it's not directly exposed to sunlight when it's being aged. It actually is kept in the shade, hence Connecticut shade. And so those tend to be a little bit on the milder side as opposed to its cousin, the Connecticut broadleaf, which is exposed directly to sunlight. And those wrappers tend to be wrapped around Maduro cigars, and they're much darker. And they have a little bit more of a boldness in terms of flavor and sometimes strength. So Connecticut wrappers are basically what a lot of people start out with if they don't want to go the flavored route. So Connecticut shade wrappers are what you probably want to start with. There's a number of fantastic Connecticut cigars out there. Our sponsor, Casa Cuevas, has a couple of different Connecticut cigars. One of them is the Core Line Connecticut. It comes with a purple band with the Casa Cuevas logo on it, and it is a delicious cigar, very mild, goes fantastic with a cup of coffee, and it is a cigar you can smoke any time of day, in the morning, afternoon, or evening. It is a perfect cigar for any occasion, honestly. And it has a slight hint of sweetness to it, not much. It's nice and creamy, nice and smooth, not too harsh. And it's definitely a cigar that won't give you too harsh of a nicotine buzz. I don't know why I said harsh that way, but not too harsh of a nicotine buzz. And you can enjoy it pretty much anytime. One of my buddies, a guy who was on this channel a long time ago, and he was in the first and only cigar noobs video that I produced. And that's my buddy Jorge, and his first legit cigar that he tried was a Casa Cuevas, Connecticut, and he really enjoyed it, and he just wanted to keep smoking more. Yeah, that's how much he liked it. But it's a nice, mild cigar. The other Connecticut or natural cigar that Casa Cuevas produces is the Reserva Naturale. It is a much lighter wrapper, very mild, but at the same time has a little bit of a kick to it. But virtually every single cigar company out there produces a Connecticut of some kind. Drew Estate, as I mentioned before, a really great boutique company called Amendola, has a great Connecticut. And then of course there is Espinosa produces one of my favorite mild cigars called the Crema, which literally just means cream, and it is a very delicious and creamy cigar, one that I could smoke every single day if I had the opportunity. In fact, it is one of my top 3 mild cigars, the Casa Cuevas, Connecticut, and the Espinosa Crema. Don't know why I'm doing hang 10, but there you go. But those are some examples of some milder cigars to get started with. But if you're still feeling bold, and you want to try something that is a little bit stronger, I would still suggest starting with a mild cigar like a Connecticut or even a flavored cigar. But if you want to do something bolder, the next couple steps would be like a Habano. Habano kind of rides the fence right in between full strength and full flavor, right there in the middle. Usually they're wrapped in, as you know, the name implies, a Habano wrapper or even a Mexican San Andres wrapper. Those are sometimes in Habanos as well. And those are kind of the medium profile cigars, which means they're not crazy mild, but they're also not too strong. But then again, I've had some Habanos that kind of kick my butt, so it all just depends. But I would recommend starting on the lighter side of things. When you're just getting started, you have no idea how you're going to respond or react to enjoying a cigar. It may kick your butt. Then again, you may take to it like I did and be like a fish in water. It's just like you were so comfortable and natural with it. It doesn't really matter, but you gotta try it first before you know exactly what you like. And after that, once you've tried like maybe a flavored or mild cigar and you find that you actually like the experience, the world is pretty much your oyster in when it comes to smoking cigars. It can be hard to pick. There's a lot of options out there, but if you're just getting started, you gotta try and narrow it down to maybe a couple of different brands. Ask your friends for recommendations. That is one of the biggest things you can do, is ask your friends for recommendations and try and make a list of cigars that they have suggested for you to try. Write it down, go to your local brick and mortar, or at least call beforehand and see if they have it. You can also order cigars online, but it's probably best for you to go to a local brick and mortar or lounge, pick out a cigar, sit down, smoke it, see how you like it. Probably be a good idea to take a friend with you just in case. But definitely that is pretty much the most basic way I can suggest getting started in smoking cigars. But once you get into it, and once you realize or discover that you do like it, then yeah, you have entered into a wonderful and fun community that is pretty much nothing but good times, and you get to make some pretty awesome and cool friends along the journey. So that's pretty much my suggestions and my list of how to get started in smoking cigars. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for me. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it. Maybe you want to share this with a friend who's interested in cigars, or if you're interested in cigars, I hope this video helped you. So I hope you get to a lounge or a brick and mortar shop sometime soon and enjoy yourself a nice smoke. And if you did, or you have, or you suggested to somebody, please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear all about it. Anyways, guys, that'll be it for me. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and as always, I will catch you in the next one.
Hey guys, thanks again for tuning into this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and also follow Dad Smoking Cigars on dads_smoking_cigars on Instagram, and be sure to check us out on Facebook. Until then, guys, stay smoky, and I'll see you in the next one.